Hi student, this is Nitesh Kumar. I welcome you to the JavaScript. As we have already studied HTML, CSS so far, the next concept is the JavaScript. A JavaScript is a programming language for the web pages. It's not a programming language, it is a scripting language, but it is a programming language for the HTML pages which we create. It was invented in 1995 by the Netscape Corporation. Earlier, it was known as LiveScript, and later on, it has been changed to JavaScript. So, in 1995, it has been invented and used for the web pages by the Netscape Corporation. So JavaScript has nothing to do with the Java because entirely the Java and JavaScript are totally different. JavaScript is a program which are run by the interpreters built into the user web browsers like Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, so Opera, Google Chrome, whichever the browser we are using, the code which we return in the JavaScript programs are interpreted into the browsers. Where does JavaScript fit in? So when we recall the JavaScript, when client opens the connection to a server and when client sends request to the server, for example, when we type any URL address, it means that we are sending that request to the server. Means we are the client sends the request to the server. So on the basis of the request sent by the client, the server sends the response to the client, and client and server close connection. So we will get connect with the server and client server will get connect with each other so that the reciprocal of the information take place. A client renders the response received from server. So when server sends a response to the client, it display those responses on the client computer. So as you can see, step 5 involves displaying. It means that when you run a JavaScript code within the HTML document, when HTML document get open on your screen, so it runs, or you can say the interpreted the code of the JavaScript and displayed on the monitor. What can JavaScript do? So why we use the JavaScript and what actually it does? As we know that HTML pages are created for displaying the content in static manner, but dynamically you cannot make any changes in the HTML page. You want to change dynamically the contents of the web page, then you need to have the JavaScript. So it can dynamically modify an HTML page and its contents. And JavaScript can react to the user input. When you create a form, when you input the value, so JavaScript will react to the user inputs also, and similarly it validates the user input. JavaScript can be used to create the cookies. It can be full-featured programming language, the language which we are used for the programs like C, C++, all the features of the C, C++ has been adapted into the JavaScript. So therefore, we can get full-featured programming language in the JavaScript. So the concept which we implement into the programming languages, similar kind of concepts we can implement into the JavaScript also. JavaScript user interaction does not require any communication with the server. Means when you interpret into the browser, it doesn't require any communication with the server. Once the data has been uploaded into your browser, so once we receive the information from the server, so all the interpretation and interaction will take place into the browser. Now we have some of the pros and cons in the JavaScript. As we can see, prawns allows more dynamic HTML pages, even complete web application. So the entire application you can make it as a dynamic with the help of the JavaScript. There are some cons. Requires a JavaScript enabled browser. So when you run the JavaScript, you should have the JavaScript enabled browsers. That is the requirement. So if you don't have, so you won't run the JavaScript code. Requires a client who trusts the server enough to run the code of the server. JavaScript has some protection in place, but can still cause a security problem for clients. So it has some protection, as we know that it was created in 1995, and thereafter many web browser have changed a lot. So they have made many more modifications in the web browsers, so hence there is a security problem. But we will resolve those security problem with our JavaScript language, and we can try to implement such a code which can accessible in all kinds of browsers. Let us have one example of using JavaScript in your HTML document. As we seen so far, so many HTML documents. If you have HTML document, in HTML document you can see now. As you can see, we have used a script tag. So script type equals to text oblique JavaScript. So text oblique JavaScript, thereafter document dot write. Write is the method of the JavaScript, and in double quote we have written hello world exclamation mark. So it will display as usual on our browser. So whatever you write in the double quotation mark of the write method, it just like a print statement. Whatever we close in the pair of double quotation will print as usual on our monitor screen in C. So similar kind of printing or displaying has been done by the write method. Now, where to put the script? So in the CSS, we have seen that there were two sections we can use for the CSS also. Similarly, for the script also, we may use the two sections of the HTML document, that is head and body. Now you can see here, we have clearly mentioned that script can be placed in the head or in the body. If you place your script in the head, what happens? Before the page is displayed on the browser, your code will be executed. And similarly, in the body, if you mention the script, it runs when your page starts displaying the contents. And always in the head is the right place to define all your functions and the variables that are used by the scripts within the body. So we must declare any function or any variable in the head section, and that we can use it in the body section. So this is the right method to uh, put our script tags. Now here we have used one function. You can see in a head we have used a script type equals to text JavaScript, and we have used one function, a function hello world. As like a normal function declaration, we may declare the functions. As I said, the JavaScript is inspired by the C++. So how we write the programs in a C++, similar kind of writing will be take place in the JavaScript. So here the function is the keyword and hello world is the name of the function, opening curly brace and closing curly brace of the function. So in between these two braces, we have used document.write hello world, and we have closed the script, we have closed the head. Now the head part is over, and after the head, when we move to the body, so in the body again there is a script type, and we have used a text oblique JavaScript and hello world. So here we are just calling the function which declared in the head section. So now you can see in the body section we are just calling the hello world. Okay, so this is how we can declare the function and variable in the head section, and we can call it in the body. Even though we can use the external scripts also. So in the external scripts we have to write one external JavaScript file, and we have to name it as a .js. JS stands for JavaScript. So whenever we specify the extension name, now we have written myscript.js. MyScript is the first name or a file name, and .js is the extension name of this file. So we assume that we have created this file. So when you want to retry this file into your HTML document, you must have the script tag and thereafter src. Src is a source. Source is a property or a attribute of the script tag which retrieves your file from the given location. Now simply I have written myscript.js. Now here we need to mention where myscript.js file has been stored into our computer. If we specify that location, it will retry JS file from that location, and whatever the functions, variables and the methods we have declared in the myscript.js file will get executed and displayed on our monitor screen in a particular HTML document where we have mentioned this script tag. This is how we can use this external scripts. Now, declaring of the variables. A JavaScript variables can be declared with the help of var keyword, and it is optional. We may use var or we may not use var. So declaration take place directly also, and variable declared within a functions are called as the local variables, local to that function, only restricted to that function. Outside the function we cannot use it. And the variables declared outside of any functions are applicable or available to all other functions. So those are called the global variables. Now we have one example, var, var is a keyword, and my name is a variable equals to opening double quotation, we have Chetan Megur, closing double quotation, semicolon. Now this Chetan Megur is a string and this string is assigned to my name. So this is the one example how we can declare the JavaScript variables. Now similarly, we have JavaScript operators and constructors. JavaScript has most of the operators which were used in the C and Java, as we were used arithmetic operators like plus, minus, asterisk, forward slash, and percentage symbol as a modulo division. So we may have all addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo division symbols as arithmetic operators. Similarly, the assignment operators, shorthand assignment operators, also we can use in the JavaScript. Logical operators like logical and or not we can use, and comparison operators like less than, greater than, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, and equals to can be used for the comparison purpose. And also plus can be used for the concatenation purpose also for the string variables. And like the constructs, like we can use the if else statements, and for looping purpose we can use while, for, and we have the case, and we have switch also. So these are the some of the operators and constructors which we can use in the JavaScript. Now here is a simple user interaction. There are three built-in methods of doing simple user interaction. One method is the alert. Alert method will display like when you enter something, and while entering something you have uh, you have typed wrongly, then it will display a message, that is the alert message, alert to the user that you are typing or you are using a wrong method, or you are typing a wrong string, like that. It will displaying one dialog box which contain OK button. And the second is the confirm box, confirm dialog box. It asks the user to confirm. In bracket we have cancel also, means it will displaying two buttons, OK and cancel. We need to confirm our action by clicking OK, and we can cancel our action by clicking on cancel button. So this is the confirm button which takes the confirmation from the user. And the third is the prompt. So prompt is like a input box. It asks the user to enter some text. Now we can have the examples of all these three. So the alert. So in all the three methods we have used double quotation, and we have mentioned some message. What will happen when we mention the string, when we display the alert, confirm, or prompt dialog boxes on screen, the double quotation will display the string as usual on that message box, on that dialog boxes. But if you see the third, prompt will contain the enter your name in the double quotation, and the Chetan is there. So we have used two strings over here. Now, as we know that prompt dialog box works like a input box. Now whatever we have entered in the first double quotation will display as usual on the screen, and Chetan will be taken as an input. So the Chetan will act like a value. So we can specify the value also, that will called as a default value. We can specify default value, or we can simply, we don't want to specify, simply after the comma in double quotation we need to keep it blank. So when your prompt will display on the screen, it will also display uh, empty, or it will also doesn't display any value, so it doesn't take any default value. So this is how you can use with these methods. Okay, so I will continue in the next video the rest of the contents. Thank you.